Welcome back to Rcomics. I am Riggs, your host, and this is the poll list for December 1st, 2021. These are the top 7 comics I'm most looking forward to this week, and without any further ado, here they are. Up first, The All-Nighter, writer Chip Zdarsky, art and cover art by Jason Lowe. This is an excellent book. It is vampires pretending to be or being superheroes in a world so that they can go out and live a little bit. It is a lot of fun. I'm very interested to see how it works because in this world there is an organization that controls vampires and supernatural creatures, and if you make yourself too apparent, they will come make you disappear. So I'm very interested to see how this one goes and how our main characters survive their superheroing escapades. A lot of fun. This is the first of 2 Chip Zdarsky books on the poll, but this one's a lot of fun. This is a Comixology original, and if you have Amazon Prime or Comixology, it is free to read. Otherwise, they are $2.99 a piece, but an excellent read, a lot of fun, and a different take on vampires and superheroes. So The All-Nighter number 3. Up next, Daredevil 36, writer Chip Zdarsky, art by Manuel Garcia, cover art Marco Checchetto. This is the final issue of Chip Zdarsky's run on Daredevil, which has been a great run on Daredevil. I've really enjoyed it, and I've really enjoyed Elektra as Daredevil. Obviously, Matt is now out of jail, or escaped out of jail, and now we're gonna finish off the series before we head into Devil's Reign. But I'm really excited to see how this final issue ties up the run and brings us into Devil's Reign. Can't say enough how much I've liked this run. This is always one of my favorite books when it comes out to read. Always goes to the top of the pile. A little bummed to see it ending, but I'm very excited for Devil's Reign. If you can, go pick up Daredevil number 36. Up next, Detective Comics 2021 Annual number 1. Writers Mariko Tamaki, Matthew Rosenberg, art by David Lapham, cover art by Jason Fabok. This is the beginning of the Shadows of the Bat. I'm very interested to see how this one works out. Obviously, they're taking the name from Shadow of the Bat prior. I'm interested in this event. I've heard nothing but good stuff about Mariko's run on Detective Comics so far. I really want to get into another Batman story. I think this is the beginning of Shadows of the Bat, so I'm going to jump on here and see where it goes. Very interested to see how this one plays out. Loving the Fabok cover, liking the little narrative so far about what Shadows of the Bat is. I'm very interested to see how it's going to go. Shadows of the Bat is going to run weekly for a couple of weeks, so it's going to be a very quick turnaround on this story. Can't wait to see it. I want to see where this goes. So I'll be reading Detective Comics for the next few weeks, and you'll probably see more of them on the poll list. I'm hoping so. Hoping this is a good one and you see maybe this title repeat. You want to take the ride for Shadows of the Bat, Detective Comics 2021 Annual number 1. Up next, HELLCOP number 2, writer Brian Haberlin, art and cover art Brian Haberlin and Gerard Van Dyke. This is a very interesting comic book. I really liked number 1. Number 1 sets you up in a world where the multiverse exists and there are soft spots, and the only plane that they found is a plane similar to hell, but it's not hell, it's just another plane, and demons are just people, but they really try to keep the two separated and they don't like the two to intermix, and there's what they call HELLCOPs, and our lead Virgil is a HELLCOP, and he's been framed for murder, and we'll see where it goes. Right up on screen you're seeing a cover C, which is a in-world book that is supposed to be similar to Playboy magazine called Play Demon, and you see a lot of cool just little questions and maybe Easter eggs in there, because they say that people when they pass away pass to this plane sometimes, and sometimes pass to another plane that they haven't been able to get to yet. So you'll see things like Kurt Cobain's 11th album, what keeps Cobain keep going, and that type of thing, because in this world Cobain probably passed to this different plane that resembles hell but isn't hell. It is just a normal plane of existence that has demons and other creatures there, and they composite that Bigfoot and Loch Ness are actually just visitors from this plane that accidentally came over and were just kind of lost. So HELLCOP number 2 looks to be very interesting. Like I said, Brian Haberlin, that world I just described, set up a very interesting world. I hope it's as interesting as the first book, and I hope this continues. Can't wait to see it. Next up, my favorite series from AWA is HOTELL Volume 2 number 1, because they're doing them kind of like in seasons, but they're calling them volumes. This is the horror anthology. It's coming back. We're going to get more interconnected stories for this volume. We are back at Poirot Courts, and we're going to have a nice horror anthology again. Loved HOTELL Volume 1. Can't wait to see what Volume 2 looks like. Again, Again, Hotel, Volume 2, Number 1. Writer, John Lees. Art, Dalibor Talgic, Lee Luridge. Cover art, Karen Grant. Up next, Maniac of New York, Bronx Burning, Number 1. Writer, Elliot Kalan. Art and cover art, Andrea Muti. This is the next series in this Maniac of New York. The subtitle, Bronx is Burning. Maniac Harry is now out of the subways and into the Bronx. And you've got Zelda Pettibone, the detective's back, and Gina Green, our two protagonists in the first series, are back. And Harry, our main antagonist, is just keeping up with that body count. This is a very good book. It's got a very scratchy art style that I like and enjoy. So it is not for everyone, but it is a fun slasher comic book. So if you like Friday the 13th, Elm Street, or something like that, and you're looking for a comic version of it, I would suggest Maniac of New York, Bronx is Burning, Number 1. Last but not least, Spawn 324. Writer, Todd McFarlane. Art and cover art, Carlo Barbieri. This is awesome so far. I've been really enjoying the Spawn titles. I like Gunslinger Spawn, I like King Spawn, I like Spawn, and I'm looking forward to the Scorched. I would say that Spawn's the weakest story-wise right out of everything, but this one is going to bring us a little bit more back to the focus on Spawn himself and where he's going, and if he can, I guess, save his own soul. We're going to try to explore that, which will be very interesting, because if you know the mythology and the lore of Spawn, he sold his soul to continue to live, and the whole crux of what Spawn is. So I'd be very interested to see how Spawn 324 is. All the Spawn series have been good so far, really enjoying them all, and I want to see where this story goes, and I'm hoping that they maybe bring the focus a little more in on Spawn, on that we're used to, Spawn himself, Al Simmons, and kind of refocuses that story. It might clean up some of the stuff that's been going on in this main Spawn title and make it a little tighter. So I'm definitely interested to see what Spawn 324 has in store for us. And that is the poll list for December 1st, 2021. Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. And in the comments below, let me know what you're picking up this week. As always, I'll see you next week for the poll.